have to write something on the line for it to be considered a write-in vote. Otherwise, it's not considered a write-in vote. Rule L is on page 68, talking about link line and a candidate. So if a candidate's target area is marked, and also the write-in target area is marked, but there's nothing written on the line, it's not gonna be an overvote, because there's no writing on the line. It's gonna be counted as a valid vote for that printed candidate. And you can see on page 61, several examples. William Henry Harrison has the target area filled in, and then also the write-in line is, the bubble is filled in, but no writing. That is not an overvote vote for William. Rule M, name combinations. So if a write-in vote is cast for a candidate with a combination of names that are already on the ballot, it's not gonna be counted as a vote for either printed candidate. It's a new combination, it's a new person we're counting that write-in vote for. So on page 63, we have Teddy Roosevelt printed on the ballot, we have Abigail Adams printed on the ballot, and someone wrote in, I want Teddy Adams. So that's gonna be a valid write-in vote for Teddy Adams. Rule N, candidate and write-in response area. If a candidate's target area is marked, the write-in target area is also marked, and also something other than the candidate's name is written in on the write-in response area, it shall be counted as an overvote and not a valid vote for any candidate. If a candidate's target area is marked and the write-in target area is not marked, it's going to be considered a valid vote for the marked candidate. If we don't know what to do and we can't tell the voter intent, we bring it to you as the canvassing board to make the final decision. Page 65 shows us some examples that are gonna be considered overvotes. There's three things that have to happen. One, the printed candidate has the target area marked. Two, the write-in target area is also marked. And three, there's something written in on the line. 3 strikes, it's out, and now it's an overvote. That's how I remember this a little more complicated rule. Page 66 is somewhat similar, but it only has 2 actions that have been taken, not the entire 3. So for these examples, you've got target area filled in for the printed candidate, writing on the line, but you don't have that third action, the filling in the write-in line. Therefore, this is not considered an overvote, but it's gonna be a valid vote for that printed candidate. Rule O, when write-ins are not eligible. So a write-in vote for a race that's not on the voter's ballot shall not be counted. People feel strongly about things and they don't necessarily live in the jurisdiction. Just because you write Seattle Monorail on your ballot, like on the example on page 69, doesn't mean you get to vote for Seattle Monorail unless you live in Seattle. So we would ignore that. Page 70, Rule P, voting in the wrong place or writing in something in the wrong place. So a write-in vote for a race appearing elsewhere on the ballot shall be counted as a valid vote as long as all of the requirements are fulfilled, and you tell us the office, position number, and party, if applicable, are written there. So on 71, page 71, there's a great example here. The write-in vote for Teddy Roosevelt is actually a valid one. You can see the upper left-hand contest. This voter is eligible to vote on State Representative District 14, Position 1, but they made a double correction, and they still wanted to vote, so they decided to write in on the bottom. They gave us the contest, the position, and the response, so that would be considered a valid write-in vote. Oh, I'm sorry, it would be a valid vote for the candidate, that they just wrote somewhere else. Rule Q, when you are familiar with, because we bring you lots of messy marks. When otherwise valid votes marked in a target area partially extend into the response area, it shall be counted as a valid vote if most of the mark is in the target area and voter intent can easily be discerned. So on page 73, there are 3 different types of messy marks. I think we have all 3 for you today. There's a check mark that goes into more than one oval, there's an X that goes into more than one oval, and then a scribbly circle that goes into more than one oval. Wherever most of the mark is the valid vote. Page 74, Rule R. Voter intent in a single contest shall not be determined based on the pattern of partisan voting on the ballot. So we cannot use leaning elsewhere on the ballot to make a determination on a contest. People are allowed to vote for mixed tickets as much as they want. There's an exception on federal write-in absentee ballots, but we have none of those to bring to the board. my favorite rules on page 75, anything else telling me that voter intent on questionable marks not in this manual, if we see anything, we bring it to you, the board, to make the hard decisions for us. And that concludes our annual refresher of the voter intent manual. Thank you for bearing with me for that.
Thank you for making that rather lively.
Expeditious is what I was going for. All right, so as I mentioned, we have 18 ballots with voter intent for you to review. And we'll start with item B-0001. We have contest for City of Seattle Mayor. There's a line through a candidate is a correction per Rule C. And we ordinarily really only need the line to go and get to the name to call it a correction. But here, there's a line out for Katie that is a pretty long line, is much more aggressive, but there also appears to be a small line for Bruce. There's a similar correction on the back. Down here, there's a long, really solid line, something to look at for reference. So what we are unsure of, is this a correction for Katie and a vote for Bruce, or is it a double correction and an undervote?
Do you want to hold it?
Yeah, because it could just be a stray mark, right?
Yes.
And
It's unclear to us.
It's very faint. I think it would be a string.
I think it's a string mark as well.
You good on that?
Yeah.
Okay. The board has made a determination to record a vote for City of Seattle Mayor Harrell.
All right, item B-0002, we have a single item on the front. For resolution number 8201, we have a slashed out oval and a filled in oval. It appears there is smudging, like perhaps that contest was erased and then they put a line through it. Typically, we think of a slash as being diagonal. In this case, it's a horizontal line through the oval. Do we believe that this is a correction and a vote for rejected, or do we think this is an overvote?
Are there similar marks on the ballot anywhere else?
There are not. All of the other ovals are completely filled in.
To me, I think that's a correction.
Yeah, it's a good correction to me, pretty deliberate.
It looks like there's no erasure too.
The board has made a determination for Senate Joint Resolution number 8201 to record a vote for rejected.
Next item is B-0003. It's a single item on the back. There we go. Issaquah Council number 5, they filled in both ovals, lined out Diogo, but then circled Diogo and made a mark inside the circle that might be initials. Is the circle a written instruction to vote the race for Diogo, despite the fact that Russell is completely filled in and never got a strike through? Or is the circle meaningless and the vote should be for Russell? Or does the circle save the Diogo vote but not negate Russell's vote, causing an overvote? That's it for the write-up.
Okay.
Writable. Those are all your options.
Are there any similar situations anywhere else in the shot?
There are not. There are a couple places where they put a little question mark, but there's nothing like that one.
are those initials or does it say no?
That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking, it looks like it might say no.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a no to me. I would say this is a vote for Russell.
I agree.
The board has made a determination for City of Issaquah Council Position number 5 to record a vote for Joe. Russell Joe.
Okay. It's like this is-
Same person.
Alrighty, moving on to the next item, which is B-0004. We have a single item on the front here for Kent School Director, District number 415, Director, District number 4. This voter voted with X's across their entire ballot, except one measure on the back. In this race, they put an X in both bubbles, but also filled in the bubble for Carolyn and put a check mark next to her name. Ordinarily, this would be a vote for Teresa because there's a bubble with an X over the oval and a secondary mark filled in. Is the check mark next to Carolyn a written instruction to vote for Carolyn instead? It looks kind of fuzzy, huh?
And for the back of the ballot, everything else is an X.
Everything except one measure is sort of scribbly, but everything else is voted with X's.
This is a tough one.
I think it's something that we.
Not voting for Carolyn. I mean, it's because every other mark is, the same, it's the same mark. Clearly, they're intending to vote for the people who have the X on there.
The board has made a determination for Kent School District Director, District number 4, a vote for Gregory.
Next item is B-0005, a single item on the front for King County Proposition number 1. This voter put a line through both of the ovals for yes and for no. Then they wrote the word pass. Did they mean to pass the contest, meaning I don't wanna vote it and undervoting it? Or does the note mean they want the measure to pass, in which case we would vote for yes?
They clearly know how to vote.
Right, and
On
they
other races,
opted to not vote on those others, no candidate.
Right.
And so I would think they're saying, pass, I'm not gonna vote on this.
I agree, I think it's a written instruction.
The same everywhere else.
Board has made a determination for King County Proposition number 1. It is going to be an undervote, meaning no ovals filled in.
Here's a new one, B-0006, we have one item on the front. For Maple Valley Council Position number 2, this voter put a sticker on the ballot with an arrow and the word vote. The head of the arrow is directly on top of Dedham, that oval, but it is pointing upward towards Sinar, to that oval. Which of them gets the vote? Written instruction is an arrow, but we're unclear if the arrow is meaning to point here or point here. And there's actually a rule, an RCW, that says forbidding votes to be cast by stickers or printed labels, but we don't think this is what the intention for that rule is. We think it's a candidate name here, put this on your ballot sort of thing. So we don't feel like that applies here. We're really unclear what the arrow is telling us to do. There's no stickers on the back of the ballot either. This is.
To me, it looks like the head of the arrow is in where the mark would go.
Right.
So maybe something happened there, and that's what they're trying to do, is make
Right.
a mark in the target area.
Right, and according to the rules, it's in the target area completely, that's not anywhere near the target area of the name above.
And they filled in the ovals for all the other candidates, and the oval of the other candidate is open, so they could fill it in, and they chose not to, so.
Oh. And behind it is a clear oval filled in for.
Let's see that. And that kind of changes things. It doesn't for you?
It doesn't for me, because I feel like, you know, they're, because
Could be a
as you
correction.
pointed out, they know how to vote. You know, if they were intending to vote for the name above, they would have done something with the name above.
Have they done corrections on any of the rest of the ballot?
It does look like a slight line potentially through that oval right here, off to this side.
See that?
And maybe they're just trying to clarify again that that is who they wanted to vote for? Is this who?
I would think it's a vote for, yeah, for that person.
I'm saying, I think it might be a correction. Now that we see what's beneath the sticker, this might be their way of correcting. Because they've filled in everyone else, they've not filled in this, they don't wanna make two. They don't wanna fill in two candidates. And so they're correcting this by covering it and showing where they wanna go. That's what it looks like to me, so that it looks like they're giving us a written instruction, but I will defer to the two of you because I seem to be in the minority on this one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, because then, that's supposing that we would take the sticker off, right? I mean, so, I mean, I don't know, what, there's a rule that covers, you know, peeling the sticker off and looking at it.
Well, it looks like a written instruction pointing to the oval for Sinar.
But why wouldn't they have done anything to indicate, you know, it's a tough one.
That is a tough one. I think if they wanted that vote, they wouldn't have put a sticker because that's how they voted for every other race.
Right, no, I.
So they're clearly trying to
It's
distinguish
trying to
this
indicate
race.
something, yeah.
That's why I think that they're probably indicating the other person, because they know how to vote for, they know how to vote for the candidate by filling in the oval. It looks like they're confused about how to correct.
You're done, the, underneath the sticker. So, yeah, I see what you mean about a little line, but that could also just be, you know, a little mark. It's a tough one.
You think it's a vote for Pearson?
I see what you're saying, that that's the only race, that's treated differently on the ballot than everything else, you know, so why would they take the time to put a sticker, draw an arrow for that, when it was filled out underneath, it's filled out just like everything else, so, I could be persuaded that.
Yeah, it looks like it's a written instruction to correct the Pearson vote and vote for the other person.
They just didn't put the sticker up a little, they could, if they would have done it just a little bit higher, it would have been kind of obvious, but because they put it where they put it, they were probably putting it there to try to cover
That's
that.
what
Okay, you have convinced me.
The board has made a determination, City of Maple Valley, council position number 2, a vote for bond.
That's a first one. I've not
Yeah.
seen that before.
All right, that was a fun one. Moving on, B-0007. I'll just show you the front first. This is a voter that votes with check marks everywhere. The item for review is on the back. For Seattle School District, Director District number 7, this voter voted with a check mark of varying height. Sometimes the bottom of the check mark is in the intended oval, sometimes it's below it. In this race, the bottom barely touches Jen, but it also goes into Carol, and is well within the range of intended ovals, of other check marks on the ballot. So we don't know if this is for either of the candidates, or which one it would be for, sort of in the middle.
Well, if you think about drawing a check mark, you know, you typically start at the top left and then go down and then up, right? So I see that it's going into the top left of Carol. So my thought would be that that was the intended vote.
I
It's
agree.
just a little sloppy.
Board has made a determination for Seattle School District Director, District Number 7, a vote for Rava, Carol Rava.
Okay, item B-0008. Got an item on the front and an item on the back. Again, an issue with using slashes for votes, or kind of check marky slashes. So both for the executive contest and also for King County Hospital District Proposition Number 1. They vote with slashes and check marks.
And again, I'm not gonna weigh in on any King County Council or King County Executive race, since, I report to the King County Council, and those are my bosses, and I don't wanna have any, appearance of a conflict of interest, so I'll stay out of that discussion.
So to me, it looks like Zahalai.
Yes, me
And
too.
approved on the other side.
And then a single item on the back as well.
Approved.
Yeah, we see the concentrated of ink in the approved and Zahalai ovals. So the board has made a determination for King County Executive, a vote for Zahalai. And for, the King County Public Hospital District Number 1, Proposition Number 1, a vote for approved.
Okay, on item B-0009, we have a single item on the front. We are in messy mark territory now. For King County Council Number 7, we have a messy mark in the middle of the two candidates. Somewhat touching both, a smidge, but it's hard for us to tell. The vote is for Pete or Maya.
Looks like one's on.
The board has made a determination for King County Council District Number 7, a vote for Von Reichbauer.
B-0010, we have a single item on the back. Another messy mark that goes into two different target areas. What is the vote for Lynn or Nicole?
This part is messed up.
This is a tough one too. Well, all of their marks kind of go down, like they start kind of up and they carry down. This one too, and I think there's probably a little more ink in Lynn than Nicole, so I would say a vote for Lynn.
I agree.
Board has made a determination for City of Bellevue Council Position Number 6, a vote for Robinson, Lynn Robinson.
Next item is B-0011, we have a single item on the front. Again, a mark going in between two target areas is unclear to us what the vote should be. for legislative district 41, representative number 1.
Yeah, I'm getting the magnifying glass. It actually doesn't look like there's much engine. It's just touching the edge.
Right. Yeah, so a vote for John.
Yes.
The board has made a determination for legislative district number 41, representative position number 1, a vote for John Whitney.
Next item, B-0012, we have a single item on the front. Another mark in between two target areas. For Seattle City Council, council position number 9.
I think there's a little more ink in Dion Foster's name, and it's just sort of incidental scribble in Sarah Nelson's, but that one's a really hard one too.
That was tough. I see what you mean, it looks like they kind of just ended
Yeah.
in his hair, so I agree, it's, Dion.
The board has made a determination, City of Seattle Council position number 9, a vote for Foster.
Okay, item B-0013, single item on the, no, we got an item on the front and an item on the back. For the first one, it is the executive contest with a messy mark in the middle of two candidates. On the back of the page, again, we have a scribbly mark in between two candidates for Seattle School District number 1, Director District number 7.
And then for this one, it looks like they had to end it there, but it most of it's in Carroll.
Yeah, just a little straight. Board has made a determination for King County Executive, a vote for Balducci. Seattle School District Director, District number 7, a vote for Carol Raba.
Okay, B-0014, we have a single item on the front. For Senate Joint Resolution 8201, a messy mark.
Looks like there's very little in the rejected though, as far as where the ink lies.
And it looks kind of consistent with the measure below, the medic one, it looks like sort of similar to that.
Yeah.
Is that's it?
Yes, yes.
Okay. The board has made a determination, Senate Joint Resolution number 8201, a vote for approved.
Next item is B-0015, a single item on the front. City of Seattle Mayor, a messy mark one oval is filled in and there may be scribbly mark out. It's unclear if it's an overvote or a vote for one of the candidates.
Just kind of, yeah, like, it looks like just kind of straight,
Yeah, that's what I was like.
messy marks, like not
I agree.
intentional voting.
I agree.
So you don't think it's an overvote or think it's a vote
I think it's a
for
vote
Wilson?
with Katie.
Okay. The board has made a determination, City of Seattle Mayor, a vote for Wilson.
You may recognize this voter from previous elections. For this ballot, we have all the contests, all of the candidate contests on the front and also on the back. For all races, the voter bubbled a candidate name and the write-in line and wrote hire U.S. citizen staff on each write-in line. Rule B only usually makes marks outside the oval into votes. Should we instead recognize the write-ins as part of a pattern of similar marks and vote those candidates rather than calling them all overvotes? Can we use this statement on the write-in line as a pattern of similar marks? So again, it's all the candidate races on the front and all the candidate races on the back. They vote for a candidate and then write that same phrase on all of the contests.
I think we're just voting for the people and giving us an extra.
Yeah, I don't think they're intending to vote for hire, like, a person named hire,
Right.
yeah.
The board has made a determination for executive Zahalai, Port of Seattle, position 1, Calkins, 3, Muhammad, 4, Hasagawa, Mayor, Harrell, Attorney, Evans, Council, Seattle Council position 5, Alexis,
Wait, is that 5 or 8?
I'm sorry, it is 8.
Okay. What was the name?
Alexis.
Alexis. City of Seattle Council position number 9, Foster. Seattle School, number 2, Smith. Director District 4, Rivera. District 5, White. 7, Lavalley. Thank you.
Two more to go. B-0017. We've got one item on the front. City of Seattle Mayor. When a voter writes in the name of a candidate on a ballot in that contest, on the write-in line, the vote goes to the candidate, not the write-in. But when a voter merely references a candidate and makes some additional comments, it's not clear that it should be counted for the candidate. Is this combination of the candidate name and some editorial commentary, meant to be a vote for the candidate? Or is it just commentary on a write-in line that should be considered a write-in?
It took me a second, and I see
You follow the-
Yeah, but I think they're voting for Bruce Harrell, but Bruce Harrell answers emails and letters as part of his civic duty. So with some qualifications on that. That's fine.
I agree.
A vote for Bruce Harrell.
Yeah, Bruce Harrell answers his.
Board has made a determination, City of Seattle Mayor, recorded vote for Bruce Harrell.
Alrighty, last ballot, B-0018. We've got 3 items on the front. For Port of Seattle Commissioner, position number 1, Port of Seattle Commissioner, position number 3, And then City of East Issaquah, council position number 3. For each of those corrections on the ballot, this voter lines out the candidate, but then wrote the word error and their initials next to it. Is this just extra correcting to an undervote, or are they trying to correct away their line through the candidate and saying the correction was an error?
That's what it seems like to me, they're correcting their correction.
So you think they're not intending to vote for?
I think they're intending to
They
vote,
are
I think
intending
they
to vote.
crossed out somebody and then said, nope, I want to vote for them, and they're
And
telling
then they
us
put
that's
their
an error.
initials. I see. Yeah,
Otherwise, they just leave it crossed out.
right, right. Why do that?
Some good psychology right there. All right, the board has made a determination for Port of Seattle Commissioner position number 1, a vote for Calkins. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Position 3, a vote for Muhammad. City of Issaquah, council position number 3, a vote for De Michelle. I think that's what it says under the line.
Okay. Thank you very much. That concludes the voter intent portion of our meeting.
I make a motion for the King County election staff to count the ballots as marked.
I second.
All in favor?
I
Aye.
And then for the board, I have these 2 delegation authorities, one for ballot processing activities in the year of 2026, and one for recount activities in the year of 2026.
Anyone a motion?
Yes, please.
I move that we, the members of the King County Canvassing Board, authorize election staff to conduct ballot processing activities adhering to the rules and guidelines detailed in the King County Canvassing Board administrative rules for all elections held in 2026.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay?
Should I?
Each sign this. Yes. And then we'll do the recounts.
Alright, I move that we, the members of the King County Canvassing Board, authorize election staff to, at any time a recount is called, provide notice of the recount, continue to work, to set costs, and to complete the election adhering to all the rules and guidelines detailed in the King County Canvassing Board administrative rules for all elections held in 2026.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oh my goodness.
Any further business?
I have nothing more for the board today.
Great. Thank you so much to our King County Canvassing Board members for going over voter intent this afternoon, and of course, our amazing team who has been working very hard, late hours and over the holiday to get all of the ballots counted and prepped for the board this afternoon. If we have additional ballots to review for voter intent, we will do so on Wednesday, November 19th at 1:30 p.m. If not, it will be canceled. So with that, the King County Canvassing Board is officially adjourned at 2:38 p.m. on Wednesday, November 12th, 2025. Thank you.
Thank you very much.